It's tight squeeze in here, isn't it? Yeah. We wouldn't have any other way. It's supposed to be a tight squeeze, so everyone looks very comfortable. It's good.
Thank you, Mr. DJ. Chris. Good afternoon, everybody. Buenas tardes. My name is Dave. I have the incredible honor today of performing the civil wedding ceremony of Gabriela Giron and William Blaustein. This is a happy day. So let's begin. Billy and I have been friends since we were 6, 25 years. We went to school together, we played football together, we grew up together. That was until high school when his parents sent him away to a different high school to escape my negative influence and that of a few other local degenerates. But Billy and I didn't let his parents or international borders stand in the way of a strong friendship. It was always a puzzle for me and Billy's friends and his family to figure out the type of girl that he would ultimately end up with. At times, it just seemed like we would have to be very patient. Luckily, Billy had my help. When I first met Gabby, she was dating this other guy. She was becoming very close friends with my wife, Chloe. And then all of a sudden, she was single. It was one of those crazy moments. Traffic stopped. The emergency sirens were ringing throughout San Francisco because girls like Gabby really do not come around ever. So I remember my first reaction being something along the lines of, wait, you mean that beautiful, talented, incredibly outgoing girl who also happens to be Latina? That's Billy's dream girl. So we had an insider's route to the front of a long line of suitors. I convinced my wife that Billy was a better candidate than the tall, bearded Texan man she had in mind. And we set them up. They met at a local oyster festival, and the instant connection and chemistry was exciting for everybody. The point of the story is that I deserve most of the credit, and that's why I'm up here today. On a more serious note, Billy shared with me that he always thought his high school football coach, Jim Nelson, would be up here today. They had a special friendship. Unfortunately, Jim passed away a few years ago from cancer at the age of 61. I knew Jim as the coach of my rival high school football team. I had all the respect in the world for him as a football coach, but most likely, more importantly, as an individual. Gabby never got to meet Jim, but I think Jim is right here with us today. Jim would love Gabby. Jim would love the commitment that Billy's making today. And this is a happy thought. Jim would only want to be brought up if it added to the joy of the occasion. So that's what we're doing. Jim is here and he's smiling. Most of you know, but Billy and Gabby are having 2 weddings. This may not be a surprise for those of you that know them at the dynamic duo, always organizing events for their vast network of friends and family. Please be assured this is not just the overflow wedding for those that did not get the invite to El Salvador. This is the civil wedding. This is an important wedding. In Latin culture, it's customary to have 2 weddings. First, you have a civil wedding, which is the legitimate wedding, and then you have a religious wedding, which is happening in February. With both of them being very family-oriented and defined by the communities in which they were raised, they decided to split the events across geographies. You know, I've spent a lot of my life right here in this redwood grove, and it's really a beautiful setting. I certainly share this warm sense of familiarity of having this wedding right here. There's also something pretty cool, I think, about bridging 2 cultures in a wedding. You know, a wedding is a unique ritual that you find across cultures, across different groups of people. It's really an ancient tradition that predates all recorded history. And I think it's just worth reflecting on. I mean, differences make people act tribal, and you know, we should always benchmark that versus the idea that we all share such a core cultural institution. At this ceremony, the couple wanted to incorporate some of the Jewish wedding traditions Don't worry, those of you from El Salvador, I will do my best to explain the strange foreign traditions of the Jewish people. So, we're performing this ceremony here under a chuppah, which is this canopy. Missing a couple sides, but notably, the walls are open, which is nice, so all of you guys can see. But you know, the walls are also open because of the importance of the couple's involvement in their community with their friends and their family. Abraham and Sarah in the Old Testament, the tent in which they lived had 4 open sides so that friends and family could always enter. You know, I can't really think of a wedding tradition which is more relevant for any couple. Billy will tell you it's Gabby's sense of hospitality that he loves about her the most, and hosting is such an important part of their love for each other. You know, I think we've all felt that in some ways. You know, in any setting in which you enter where they reside, you have this warm and pleasant feeling. So next, Gabby's going to circle Billy 3 times. Often this is done when Gabby first would enter, but they enter together, so we're just going to mix it up a bit. So Gabby, please circle.
Two more.
So the circling here in the chuppah defines the familial space. You know, they're entering this new world together as husband and wife. And when you circle, you create these boundaries to keep out evil spirits and temptation. The couple added their own meaning for each of the circles, meaning love, respect, and adventure. I want to say a few things about the couple, some dynamics which make it very clear to me that this is the perfect union for both of them today. So first, Billy is an eccentric guy. He's a good friend of mine. I'm able to spend a lot of time with him, but sometimes he can be a little overwhelming. Maybe you wish he would take it down a notch. The most important and beautiful dynamic is that Gabby lets Billy be Billy. Billy can be making a fool of himself, and Gabby doesn't really get annoyed. She just smiles. She looks at him. She sees the best in him. She sees his positivity, and that's important. And she also grounds him. You know, I think if you ask Billy, the top reason why he's sure about what's the commitment he's making today, he would say it's because they're on the same speed, and it's very comfortable for him. And they are. Gabby has this miraculous ability to keep up with Billy. But I think we've also all felt the different speed when they're together. And it's not because Gabby, behind closed doors, Gabby's telling Billy to chill out. It's the natural equilibrium when they're together. And it's so comfortable for us to be around. Billy says speed, and Gabby says something very similar, which is they share the same outlook on life. It's obviously a very positive outlook. You know, they share lots of interests, whether it's friends or family or hosting or travel. But they both really want to live life in the same way. You know, they're perfectly in sync. They feed off each other's energy. They radiate happiness. You know, and they're just really the best people to be around, and I feel so lucky to be a companion in this life with them. Gabby will tell you how inspiring Billy is, whether it's his commitment or his drive. It's something she never really knew she was looking for, and it has ended up being so important for her. She even went as far to say it was sexy. Billy is also incredibly thoughtful and caring. He treats Gabby with more respect than anybody that I know. He's always doing these little things to remind her that he cares, and it couldn't be more clear to me how much he cares about this woman. And it doesn't get lost on Gabby. She says the same thing. It's very powerful. She feels it every day. I think they both have this strong sense of reliability within each other. They both feel very taken care of. And things like this work in this amazing positive feedback loop, which only gets stronger over time. And lastly, they're both very spicy. You know, it's funny, I'm pretty sure Billy didn't even like spicy food before he met Gabby. And now he's part of a spicy couple. It's amazing the things you will do to impress your partner. So next, I've been married about a year, which is not the resume that makes me the village expert on the subject, but given how well I know you guys, I think I have a perspective to offer. You know, they say the easy part is over. So first, don't stop seeking adventure. This is clearly like, very important to both of you. So when life comes at you, don't get distracted. Always have fun. You guys obviously both care a lot about hosting. You know, it's such an important part of your relationship. So do that a lot, but also don't go through life trying to do everything with everybody and forget about your marriage. Have some parties for two. Go on trips together, just the two of you. Go on dates together, just the two of you. This is very important. And lastly, put the needs and interests of your partner before yourself. Listen to them. For example, if you guys decide to have a brunch party on a Saturday and one of you wants to keep it small, don't invite 120 people. Listen to each other.
On Facebook.
It's a good brunch though, right?
And now the couple wrote some vows, which I'm going to say, and they're going to confirm. So Gabby, you first. Please repeat after me. Do you take Billy to be your partner in the adventure that lies ahead?
I do.
To be clear, you have an option to say no every time. But you only get to be married if you say yes.
I do.
Should we start over? Do you take Billy to be your partner in the adventure that lies ahead?
I do.
Do you promise to walk by his side to the ends of the earth?
Forever.
Do you promise to love, encourage, and support him in every endeavor?
I do.
Do you commit to protecting him in any illness and sorrow?
I do. I promise.
Do you also promise to always live life to the fullest with each other's company?
I do.
Do you commit to give him your heart and to always see the best in him?
I do.
Do you promise to share his laughter as well as his tears?
Always.
And finally, do you take Billy as your husband from now until the end of time?
I do.
Straight A's. Billy? Do you take Gabriella as your partner in the unknown road ahead?
Yes.
Do you commit to walking the ups and downs of life with her by your side?
Yes, I do.
Will you cross the globe with her from California to El Salvador and everywhere in between?
I will.
I checked the map, that's Mexico and Guatemala. Will you be there for her with love, passion, and friendship every day and every night?
I will.
Do you commit to always making yourselves better together?
I do.
Do you promise to smile and love only her as your true partner on this earth?
Yes.
Do you take Gabriella as your wife for the rest of your life?
I absolutely do.
I would now like to ask L.A. and Steve to come up to sign the marriage license. It's very official stuff.
Are you gonna see some words?
Yes, but not now.
So before we conclude, I wanted to explain the last thing that we're going to do. It's a custom in Jewish weddings to end with breaking of the glass. Like many of these things, there are a few different interpretations, but generally thought to be related to the destruction of the Jewish temple. It can be thought of as an incarnation or a reminder that beautiful things in life are fragile and require constant attention, including human relationships. So after Billy breaks it, if everybody could say Mazel Tov, it's a Jewish saying for congratulations or good luck. So now, by the authority vested in me by the state of California, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may now kiss your bride. Mazel Tov!